Hello guys, welcome to IELTS Racers. Today we are going to discuss about IELTS writing task 2, that is essays, in this demo presentation. So basically we are going to learn how we should approach the essay, and most primarily or most importantly how we should identify what exactly is the task given to us, because most of the students struggle to identify or focus what they are supposed to write, and they end up writing something else, due to which their task response fails and they end up losing their band. So let us move to the next slide. Here I'm going to tell you about how we can decode the task. So you can see, like, the first thing I want to tell you is, whenever you receive a question in your IELTS, or whenever you receive a task in your IELTS examination, you will focus, or you will notice that there are two things. First thing is a statement given to you which is mostly related to some social information. For example, in this task you will read, the world should have only one government rather than a national government for each country. So this is again some kind of suggestion or some kind of opinion shared by some intellectuals or people who are suggesting that we should abolish the concept of individual governments, and we should come up with a centralized governing body such as United Nations or something that will rule or govern the whole world. Now this is a social statement given to you where some people have given their opinion. This is the topic, this is your topic which you are supposed to discuss in your IELTS exam. Now what they want you to discuss, how they want you to discuss it, they want to know if this suggestion is accepted. This suggestion is accepted, whether it will lead to more positives rather than the negatives. So this is your question. So this is how you need to break down your task in your examination. Like, the world should have one government, this is your topic, and do the advantages of this outweigh the disadvantages? This is your question. We have some more examples. If you will notice, some think people personal happiness is directly related to economic success, while others believe it depends on other factors. Now you will see here, like, there are two sections, two categories of people. One category thinks that personal happiness is derived by economic success, like the richer you are, the happier you are, while others believe there are other factors also which impact your happiness. Fine. So now in the topic which is given to us, there are two different opinions. Fine. And now they are asking us to discuss both of these opinions and share your own viewpoint, how you think, like whether you may like, okay, you may agree that okay, personal happiness is impacted directly by the financial status, or there are other factors such as emotional bonding with your relatives, friends and family, your health. These factors actually impact more your personal happiness. So this way you need to identify what is the topic and what is the question given to you. We have two more examples down there. You can see, this is I am leaving for you people to read out and identify. Okay, let us move to the next slide. So in next slide, when I said, like, we can break down the task in two types, topic and question. Now I'm going to tell you about topic. So whenever you get a topic in IELTS, it can be further categorized in three categories. Primarily, like, you will get either two suggestions, like personal happiness is derived by financial status or other factors. One suggestion is like having a single government rather than multiple governments, or a trend we will discuss later in the slides. Let us focus on the first category, that is two suggestions. So whenever we get two suggestions, as I told you, there are two type of people. First category of people is suggesting A, while next category of people is suggesting B. Let us look at some questions. Some people think, again the same question like we discussed earlier. So here you will see, this is the A, first viewpoint, while this is the other viewpoint. You can see here, happiness is impacted by other factors. So this is A and B. So this is a two suggestions based topic. In this topic, two different suggestions are given. Let us look at the next example. Some people think that children should begin their formal education at a very early age. Others think they should begin after 7 years of age. So always remember, they are not talking about the normal education, they are talking about the formal education. And the topic is formal education. There are two suggestions given. When should be the formal education started? Some first category of people is saying at a very early age. Others are suggesting that they should begin at or begin after 7 years of age. So here A becomes very early age and B becomes after 7 years of age. So now you can decide, okay, which side you agree with, and you will decide your body paragraphs accordingly. Another example, many believe that it is important to protect all wild animals. Please pay focus, like what they are suggesting, protect all wild animals. It is important to protect all wild animals. This is the first category of people, while others think that it is important to protect some, not all of them. Straightforward, one category of people is saying we should protect all kind of wild animals irrespective of their current population status or current demand, or like you can say like current density, population density, whereas others are suggesting we should focus only on certain species which are maybe endangered or which are now becoming rare. So this way there are two categories of people suggesting different opinions. You have to discuss both of them and give your own opinion. So these kind of questions, in these kind of questions you will find two suggestions based topics. This is really important to understand and identify, okay, yes, this question is asking me to describe two different viewpoints. Fine, let us move to the second category, that is one suggestion. So if I say one suggestion, usually one suggestion is giving. So as I have already told you, like rather than having multiple governments, we should have a single government. There is a category of people like they are just giving one suggestion, and now you have to whether decide, do you agree with that suggestion or you disagree with that suggestion, or do you feel the suggestion will be beneficial or it will be like having some drawbacks. So let us go to the examples. Scientific research should be carried out and controlled by the governments rather than private companies. So now focus, what they are suggesting is scientific research. Okay, scientific research is the core context, and who should carry it out and control it? The government rather than the private companies. So this is a suggestion given by some intellectuals or some people like, okay, right now scientific research is being carried out by certain private laboratories or private institutes, and because of that a lot of medicines and treatments have become expensive. So that's why they are suggesting, maybe like this can be one of the reasons they are suggesting that scientific research should be under the control of government so that it becomes affordable and subsidized for everybody. Okay, now do the advantages of this outweigh the disadvantages? So what if the government starts controlling the scientific research? Will it be beneficial for the society, or it will be having a lot of drawbacks for the society? You can list down both and decide whether you are in favor of it or against it. For example, if I have to list down benefits, it can be like, okay, as I already mentioned, it will become affordable, it will be in reach of it will be in reach of like every country, like whether it is underdeveloped or developing nation, they will be able to afford it or buy it. In the same way, there is a drawback. For example, private institutes, they have their strict policies and accuracy efficiencies more, whereas whenever we go into some government organization, there is always a threat of getting or facing some kind of corruption in the process. So that's why a lot of people avoid, for these life-saving treatments, they should be governed by private companies only rather than the government-based organizations. Okay, now there is a one suggestion, that's why it has become one suggestion topic. Now next is, many claim that the fast food industry had a negative impact on the environment, eating habits and families. Up to what extent do you agree or disagree? So if you will focus, the topic is fast food industry had a negative impact on environment, eating habits and families. So there is a segment of society that is quoting that they are against the fast food because they find it is leading to adverse effects on environment, because mostly fast food you will find it is packed in plastic or tin. It is difficult to decompose the packaging. Okay, it is against the eating habits, yes, because fast food is mostly full of like high calorie food, so it is difficult to digest and people end up becoming obese or diabetic. And families, because once someone start eating fast food, it not only creates a hole in their pocket, but also it destroys their overall health. So that's why it is against the families also. So that's why they claim it. Now if you agree, you can find out the negative impacts it is leading on environment, eating habits and families. If you disagree, then you can counter this question by saying no, fast food is not having a negative impact, but it is having a positive impact on environment, eating habits and families. So in that case, you have to come up with strong opinions in the favor of fast food. Fine, but this is a single suggestion, opinion based question. Now let us move to the next question. Some people say that it is possible to tell a lot about a person's culture from their choice of clothes. So it is possible to tell a lot about a person's culture from their choice of clothes. So basically, based on the attire, some people believe that based on the attire we can tell, okay, which culture this person belongs to and how is he in his social behavior. So if you agree, you can like jot down the points which say yes, based on the attire I can tell this person belongs to this ethnicity, this person belongs to this race, this country, this region, and these are his food habits, these are his religious beliefs, etc. Based on his attire you can tell a lot of things, agreed. But when we talk about culture, I am slightly skeptical whether we will be able to judge someone's character based on his attire. For example, if someone is wearing ethnic attire, it does not mean that he is having a like conventional or traditional mindset. No, it's not necessary. Fine. So this may be slightly debatable whether we can judge the character also. So that's why you can decide whether you agree or disagree with this suggestion or opinion. I hope it is clear so far. Next, we will be talking about the trend, which we have not discussed so far. So when I use the word trend means like we usually say like this fashion is in trend these days, this kind of dress is in trend these days, this kind of makeup is in trend these days. So whenever we say trend, we use the word trend, it means something is changing in the society, something new is coming up and something is replacing something old, something is increasing or something is decreasing. Whenever we get a topic based on a trend in IELTS, it will be mostly related to a social behavior, change in social behavior. Fine. So it can be a positive change or it can be a negative change. Let us go through the examples. We will be able to relate it better. In many countries, crime rates amongst youngster people has been rising. So if you will see, it should have been have basically. Okay. So crime rates. So now you can see it. Okay. So in many countries, crime rates among youngster people have been rising. So what they are saying is like these days it has come to observation or notice that in a lot of countries, in several countries, crime rates, especially across the younger crowd, or you can say like teenagers or people who are in their early 20s, they are getting indulged in the crimes. So this is a trend. This is some kind of change. Yes, this is a social behavior. Yes, this is a social behavior, but it is not a positive social behavior. It is a negative social behavior. So definitely they will be asking for some kind of solutions. This is so. Why is this? They want to know the reasons. This will go to your body paragraph 1. What can be done to solve this problem? They want to know the solutions. How or what approaches we can implement so that this crime rate can be controlled, especially among the younger people. Always remember, the topic is not crime rates. The topic is crime rates among younger people. Fine, because these slight mistakes can take you off topic and you may miss your task response. Now let us move to the next example. Nowadays, film stars and celebrities often share their views on public matters that have little to do with their professions. Okay, yes, this is also a very common topic these days. You will notice like whether it is related to any ongoing protest or it is related to any ongoing political crisis in any country, a lot of celebrities and sports people are tweeting or making comments on Instagram or Facebook, irrespective of the fact that they are not at all related to this field. So this may happen because either they are paid for this or they are actually interested in doing so. So there may be n number of reasons behind this. But yes, it has become a common practice these days, like film stars and celebrities are sharing their views on public matters, which actually has nothing to do with their profession. Fair enough. So they want to know whether it is a positive or a negative change. So you can decide if it is a positive change. Yes, because a single tweet from a famous celebrity can bring or can force the government to pull back some bad policy, or force the police or authorities to take some action against some crime. Or it can be a negative change because a lot of times celebrities who are paid to make tweets, it is without the knowledge or without the proper background analysis, they end up degrading the gravity of the situation. That's why it can be negative also. It depends upon how you want to write it. You can either write it in a positive way, you can write it in a negative way, or you can write it in a both perspective. It's up to you. Fine. But here they have given a trend in the topic. Let us move to the last example. In many countries, people now wear Western style dress such as suits and jeans rather than traditional clothing. Okay, so now focus. What is the topic or trend here? Like, people are switching to suits and jeans, Western style dresses, rather than their own traditional clothing. Discuss advantages and disadvantages. Focus on this, and they do not want to know your opinion. They wanted to list down both. Okay, so the trend is like a lot of people in whether they're living in India or they're living in United States or Australia or somewhere else, what they are doing is they are switching or they are opting a formal clothing pattern, that is suits and jeans, rather than wearing their own native or traditional ethnic dresses. So why this is becoming common, or why it has like being so much in demand in the society? So you can list down the advantages. Like, they can, okay, whenever you are working in a multinational culture, you are supposed to follow a dress code in your office, whatever is the policy of your company. In the same way, if you want to list down the disadvantages, yes, in the long run it may lead to like the collapse of the original traditions of the country, because gradually or eventually everyone will start wearing a single type of attire, and it will become really difficult for the countries or the governments to sustain their original culture. So that's why it can be disadvantageous also. So you have to list down both. So this is a trend. Yes, this is a trend. In this way, we can decode the topic in 3 ways. First one was 2 suggestions, like some people suggest A while others suggest B. 1 suggestion, some people suggest only something, and you have to either agree, disagree, or you have to identify whether advantages outweigh the disadvantages. And when we have a trend, so it may be a problematic trend. In that case, you will be asked to list down the reasons and problems, or you will be asked to list down, is it a positive or a negative development, or you may be asked to list down both advantages and disadvantages. So this is all from my side.
Hope you find this video helpful. Thank you for watching our video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Also, to check out our comprehensive courses on IELTS, refer the links given in the description box. Thank you.